it's all fun and games until you lose momentum or the motivation dies. Now, there's always, when you start something new, there's always a level of novelty, and you seem motivated to do something because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. But if it's a productive habit, or if it's a business something or whatever, the novelty will wear off after a certain time. And if it's actually important and you know you should keep doing it, it's a matter of actually being able to stick to it. And that's why the title of the video, it's all fun and games, because it is. It's so easy to do something that's new and fresh all the time, but if you just keep hopping around, once the novelty wears off, then you're gonna get anywhere. You're gonna be going month to month, if that. And that's when the real challenge is of habits. And it's about digging deep and continuing to continue with the habit or task or whatever it is that you may be. I'm kind of referencing YouTube here because I think Hamza said, or someone said, that 95% of channels die before they even get to 10 videos or something. Now, we're back in the trend. We're up to nearly 40, 35, something like that. Cooking along. And I'm not sure if the novelty's definitely worn off. Like, it's not a chore, but it's just another task to do. Like, it's got to get done. And that's a bit the same with the gym for me. Like, it's been 18, 20 months, and it's like the novelty of going to the gym and whatnot is gone. Even though I've just recently, last few months ago, moved gyms, and that was kind of like to a much bigger and more well facilitated gym, if that makes sense. And it was like, wow, I've got to kind of adjust, but even that novelty's worn off again, and it's kind of just back to the grind. You got to turn up all the time and go to the gym and to hit your sets and all that shit. And yeah, you got to stay consistent regardless of whether you want to or not. And that's essentially why Hamza says at the end of his videos, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Because when the novelty wears off, you're not going to feel like it. And that's exactly why and when you should do it. Well, not exactly when you get the feeling, but if you're planning to go to the gym and you're like, oh, I couldn't be bothered, then you probably should go. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, expect it to not be fun all the time, even if it's something you know you should do. And the other part of the title, it's all fun and games till motivation dies or you lose momentum, is kind of somewhat similar, but I've found that I go through waves of momentum. Like, I'll go through a couple of weeks of where things are going really well and I'm posting videos consistently and gyms progressing well and whatnot, and everything's just kind of going well. And you're in a bit of momentum, but there'll be times where you lose momentum and things slow down. Like, I don't know, you might go through a stage where you're sleeping terribly. I brought that up because I've been really struggling to get to sleep and whatnot, and my sleep's been terrible, and things are kind of just almost falling apart. And I guess you got to look at it as when things get hard, it's kind of like life's way of shit testing you. And that's why I've been thinking about it. Like, when things get hard, that's exactly when you should keep going the most. because when you're in I'll say in a flow state, but like a life flow state, if you know what I mean, like you're just locked in, you're grinding away, you're sticking to your diet, your good habits every day, and all that stuff. It's easy to keep going, riding the wave of momentum, but there will come a time where you lose momentum or you get a little bit complacent, and so you stop. It might even be for a day or two, but then it kind of just snowballs, and that's when you start to lose momentum and things get more difficult, and then you might have a couple of unfortunate events, like I have with my fucking car. Now it takes twice as long to go to the gym, which hasn't helped, and work's been slow, and you know, all that stuff. So I'm definitely going through a down period of momentum, but I've just been reassuring, telling myself constantly that it's life's way of shit testing you. And these are the kind of times when you should hunker down and grind harder and come out the other side. Maybe not better, but keep continuing coming out the other side. Like, there's definitely been times in the last couple of weeks, like even the other day, yesterday, last video, I did not want to record that and get that out. And it's like, but as soon as I stop, it's so easy to just keep not doing it. And so I've got to just kind of turn my brain off and go, right, back on track, get the video out, move on, get the next one out, keep moving on. And yeah, I mean, it's not in the car, how I'd like to do it, but you know, improvise. It's still, what I was not going to say anything different in the car or not, except you don't get occasional outbursts of me getting shitty at people on the road type shit. So maybe this is better. Maybe this is more effective at getting my point across. Maybe I don't waste as much time. Anyways, you can't let, if something gets boring or the motivation dies. You don't get up every day and think, oh boy, I can't wait to do this. That's not a problem, but it's a sign. You should learn to see it as a sign that you should keep doing it or keep going. And again, with the momentum, like I just said, it's life's way of shit testing you. And if you push on and keep going out the other side, then it's a small win. And if you continue to have small wins, say over the course of a year, you go through 5 or 10 down periods of momentum, and each time you come out the other side and you're still progressing forward, then you're obviously going to reap the rewards. Because if you just let that momentum stop you altogether, then you'll be back to square one essentially. And you'll lose literally all of the momentum. And so yeah, what are we? 11 minutes. Jeez, that went quick. Might wrap it up there, as it's not a crazy concept, but it's, again, just reassuring that you got to keep going and keep pushing through, and just think of it as a challenge, as a shit test. So yeah, subscribe. Numbers have been a little bit down. I blew up and had a really good week or two, and that subsequently, when I started coming back down, was also when I kind of hit a bit of a wall. So maybe when I come out, then I'll get back going and start really making some progress. But anyways, comment what should you comment for me? Comment how you dealt with your most recent momentum trough, we'll say. How you dealt, how long it lasted, what were you kind of feeling, and how you came out of it, and if you're still going. Because there'll be definitely people who, if they do, there might be a handful of you that watch to the end that might be in the same spot that I am, kind of, coming out now. But there's other people out there watching in my small audience that will be in the same boat, and it's always reassuring to know that other people are suffering, quote unquote, suffering the same way you are. The same way you ask your friends in school if you studied for the test, and they also say no, and so you feel a little bit better. Or if you didn't do an assignment and they said, oh, I didn't do it either, it's reassuring. Anyways, that's all from me. Remember, bro, life is what you make it.